Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Coffee Pod. And I am delighted today to have Bo with me from America. And I'm going to get Bo to run through a little bit about himself and talk about, as the thumbnail states, how Facebook has changed his eBay store. And we'll get him to talk through that. And obviously, if you guys got any questions this evening, anything about YouTube or anything about eBay, more than happy to answer. Bo's got a YouTube channel we'll shout out as well. But yeah, enough about me. I think a lot of people in here will probably know my story now. So yeah, Bo, over to you. If you'd like to introduce yourself and tell people a bit about your eBay, really.
Yeah, been selling on eBay for about 14 months now, and just like you, kind of just saw the potential, and I really wanted to seek out coaches and mentors right away because I knew that I started with books first and DVDs, and I really, once I started to see like, wow, you can make a couple $100 doing this. So my first step was seeking out people that were like doing that on a larger scale so I could learn, and we're in the same group, the Reseller Nirvana group. And without that group, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, because of the help from people like you and other people in the group that are doing it on a far larger scale. And, that 14 months, I've learned so much just listening and taking notes that I'm very thankful and very grateful for that group, because now I'm able to provide for my family, work from home, have my kids come with me and see how a business runs, and it's just such a blessing because, it's hard to work from home and be self-employed and have that direction. But if you have a good coach and a good mentor, it helps you get on track, and stay on track.
Absolutely. So what did you do before eBay? Let's go back to before you started eBay. What was you doing before you took the leap into reselling?
Yeah. So, I had a brief stint, about a year, doing real estate, and that type of sales just wasn't appealing to me. The whole culture of the industry was not appealing to me. That wasn't who I was as a person. So I just felt like all the techniques that they were training you how to get sales in real estate were just not morally my standards for life, And so I immediately pivoted out of that and jumped into eBay. So, but prior to that, nothing special. I'm just a normal guy, waiting tables for about 10 years at local restaurants here. I live about an hour and a half from any city or town. So I was having to commute 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that's working 10-hour shifts in town to make that worth the drive. So I did that for 4 or 5 years. And I always knew, though, in the back of my mind that that we were like born for more, that there was more to life than just working at a job. And I was always a hard worker, but I never was like, I'm happy here. This is where I'm going to sit for a while. I was like, I have a family. I need to now sharpen my skills. Right. So that's why I pivoted into real estate, because, I like working with people. I like, just talking to people, understanding where they're coming from. And it really helps me as a person to learn from other people and listen to them. And it was cool, because that, well, our house burnt down, but it sounds bad, but it was actually like the greatest thing that could ever happen, because it forced me into like, okay, no job because of COVID, they laid me off, and then no home. So I really needed to be like, all right, what am I going to do here? This is a shift, in mindset shift too. So I was just diligent in my studies, learning how to be a cell phone business, learning about management. So yeah, like, fast forward was like after the fire burnt down, we found a house, close to where our previous home was.
Sure.
And I was like, all right, well, there's no jobs within an hour from me. How am I going to make money at home? And I came across Mel back from Burnout. Her YouTube, it popped up in my feed because I just typed in "make money online from home." She was like one of the top searches. It was really funny. I just enjoyed her personality, and I was like, well, I'm going to go find books,
Yeah.
and they give them away for free,
Mhm.
books for free. And I was like, all right, I could start with that. I don't have a lot to invest into it. So, um, books came about and I was like, well, I need to find the right books. And then I was like, all right, well, how can I make a little bit more money, because not everyone is looking for books, even though it does have a big market. And I didn't have a lot of space. So I was like, well, let's try clothing. And that was the shift, was like, okay, I like clothes, but I'm not like a huge addict for clothing. But I was like, all right, I could do this. And just learning to scale that from 5 listings a day to 10 to 15. And I just saw, it's really cool on eBay. You get to see like the effort you put in, you see it on the graph,
Yeah.
with impressions and views and weekly payouts. I was like, this is growing, this is great.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can get into this. So next was like setting up the schedule and learning from other resellers. So
Amazing. Good stuff. Well, let's just jump into chat quickly and then we'll go into a little bit more about how your eBay's really grown and advanced over the years as well. So, first of all, we've got Pete's Retro Collectibles. Hi, Pete. Thanks for dropping in. Limelight Vinty, always on my live, so I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. Leanne's another one who's always on the lives as well. Hello. So, my cousin's son, Jordan's in, so good evening.
hmm,
Um, I've got the family support, Bo. Sorry, they're all going to be jumping in there.
that's awesome.
In. My cousins come in. Melissa from the group, she's come in and she's coming to support our guys. Hit the like button. Yes, please. If you guys could hit the like button, it does help. I won't go on about it the whole stream. Landon, sorry, not Landon, Thrift Up is in. Let's go. So they have joined us. I thought I saw Landon in the chat, possibly not. Closet Geek, hello, welcome. Yeah, Mel does have a great personality. Absolutely, I think I've spoken most of my videos about Mel.
Yeah.
She really encouraged me to start the YouTube channel, especially. But also, when I bought the 4,000 books, she was the only person I reached out to because she knows her books, as you know.
She does.
Hi guys, welcome to the chat as well. New name to me, so Chris and Edna, full-time eBay resellers. Here we go, Bo, the goat of Facebook come-ups. So you're well known. I find clothing market so saturated and jammed at the moment. So Closet Geek, I believe you're in the UK. I don't know whether it's different in the US. Maybe we could talk about that. What is the clothing market like in the US?
I believe that it is the most thrown away item that landfills receive.
Yeah.
It makes up 90 to 95% of all thrift stores, Goodwills. People have such a consumer mindset when it comes to clothing that that's just what I learned through that process. Was like, when I made the Facebook ad before I found the storage units, I would go to people's homes and they had their second bedroom full to the top with just bags of clothing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh well, what's this about? And they're like, oh, a lot of the times people were like, it doesn't fit me anymore. I lost weight or I gained weight, and a lot of this stuff still new with tags. And
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, this is real. This is a huge crisis in America. How many other people that are living and dealing with the same thing? And then not only that, people don't want to spend time driving it to the thrift store. They want it come picked up, and you pay them money, and they
Yeah.
love that.
Sure.
So yeah, it is saturated, but that's where that key is, like, if you find the right brands,
Yeah.
because it is a Gap, Old Navy, you find that everywhere. So, yep.
Sure, no, good stuff. Hi, Ian J. Thanks for popping in. Derek, hi, good evening. So Chris and Edna are saying with clothing, we tend to mainly deal with football shirts, jeans, trainers, football boots,
Mhm.
and it is an important part of our business. So I know a lot of people in the UK do have it as part of the business, but obviously you've completely niched down into clothing. And it probably brings us on nicely to talking a little bit. And you mentioned it there about Facebook. So, do you want to talk a little bit about how you've utilized Facebook for your business? And as the thumbnail states, how you managed to do something on Facebook that not a lot of resellers have managed to do in that kind of bulk, and talk us a little bit through that.
Yeah. just came to me as an idea. I started kind of almost feeling, this was probably about in January, where I was had a consistent source for clothing, but I wanted an alternative. So I was almost like, oh, there has to be another way, and kind of just getting really down about like just not being able to figure out how to get, an alternative source. So someone had mentioned in the group Facebook ads, and that just stuck with me. Like, okay, I don't want to pay for ads, but I know that there's local buy and sell groups that are huge, huge communities of 20, 40, 50,000 people just in my county. Just where people buy and sell, like, hey, I got this couch here. Who wants it? And I was like, all right, well, let me make an ad on Canva, just, being very transparent, very real, and just like, hey, I'm a family owned business. Listed my 20, 30 brands that I'm looking for. Here's what I offer. And ever since I posted that, just, message after message of people looking to get rid of clothing for free, or for a certain amount of price. And as I did that, I knew that within the first day that's what I had to make my focus,
Mhm.
because just the results were so good that at the thrift store and Goodwill bins that I go to, the clothing is good, but it takes me a lot of time to look through defects.
Yeah.
And I was noticing that it was just taking me longer and longer to look through, like, oh, I missed that hole, or I missed that stain. And the value goes down a good bit. It still will sell, but it's just kind of like I got tired of that. So with Facebook, I went all in. I created an ad and posted it in about 10 groups on my first week. And since then, I have enough contact. I like the ad is gone. Like, I don't have it on there anymore, because
Yeah.
I have too many people that I have to reply to, and I just rather take it down.
Sure.
I haven't bought anything in 3 months. So, but I saw that, and I just wanted to share with other people, because I noticed no one else was doing like that particular thing.
Mhm.
Not in my area. I live in Oregon, so it's very, it's more rural. Like, it's not big city life. There's Portland, where there's a million people that
Yeah.
live. Um, and man, like, I had to share it, because I noticed going through all these people's homes that there is so much more than I can ever buy.
Of course.
And just you can make that change in your business by posting that ad. So that's why I was very diligent in sharing that info, because I I found gold, but I want to share it. I don't want to. There's no way that I can be buying all of these people's clothing, so I just bought what I needed. But yeah, it's a very simple process. Made the ad on Canva, took like 20 minutes,
Mhm.
and then just be honest and true when you post in the ad, and you will get results. So
So you
yeah.
mentioned though, with regards to the brands you put on the ad, then, because obviously if you put
Mhm.
out an ad saying I'm looking for any used or new clothing, you will get bombarded with every single brand imaginable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you got the ad there, which you can maybe share
Hmm.
with the chat to basically
Yep.
show what you've done? Because when I saw the ad on the Facebook group, I was so impressed, because you hadn't just gone any clothing. You had thought about the brands as well. And
Hmm.
while you pull that
Yeah.
up, let me just say a few more hellos. Um, yes, Closet Geek said, even the jeans in bulk, I can get Levi's at 90p, but they are such slow shifters. So yeah, 90p a pair of jeans, though, you can't go wrong with it, especially Levi's.
Mm.
The Woo, that's another family member. So that is Josh. Hi, good evening. They're all coming in, Bo.
That's
So Chris
awesome.
said, yeah, we run paid Facebook ads and do very well with them. We've had a few ads that we switch between and get some good pickups from them.
Nice.
Um, we got Santa Claus in from the North Pole. Hello, good evening.
Nice.
Um, and I have my first ever super chat from a family member, Jordan, because obviously I got monetized today. I don't know if you saw my post, but I think you
Yeah,
did.
I did. That's awesome.
So monetized today. So my first super chat. He'll probably message me later, ask me to transfer that back to him. But thanks, Jordan. I'm glad it works. So let me see if I can add that to the There we go. Let me play around with this here. Um, there we go. I think everyone can see that, hopefully.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
do you want to talk through it and a bit about, what brand you were looking for and the reasons behind that?
Yeah. So these were brands that I was already picking up from my local Goodwill and thrift stores, and I was already um, familiar with the sell through rates and the demand.
Hmm.
And I do pick up slower selling clothes too, but I'm not making that the main part of my store. I do want to focus on, those quality items, especially now that I'm able to list it and go, like, here's what I'm looking for. Because I was getting people contacting me like, hey, I have a ton of faded glory, and it's like, well, unless it's vintage, I'm probably gonna pass on that.
Hmm.
Because there were a lot of people that wanted to sell me their like lower end clothing, and I really needed to be specific with the brand list because you'll get people from everywhere saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I got this sock. Do you want to come buy it?" It's like I had to be specific. Like I'm looking for a minimum amount of like 100 pieces,
Hmm.
and that was always my first question of like, how many pieces do you roughly have?
Yeah.
Or putting that into my ad where it did cut out a lot of the people that were just looking to sell, 3 pairs of jeans or
Sure.
whatnot. But and that was important because gas in your time is very valuable. And so that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna put 100 piece minimum and see how that goes. So yeah, having the brand list was key because for that reason, and
Yeah.
people would then see the brand list and go, hey, I have Champion and Zara and all these brands. Then it gets my attention. I'm like, okay, they read the brand list.
Hmm.
Let's go with that. And and then I would go to their home or meet at a location where I could then sort all of what they have. And every time people were always just happy to get some money because I figured out most people were just getting ready to donate it anyways. And the donation centers, they give you like a coupon, 20%
Sure.
off to shop in their store.
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah, it was really cool. And I met some people, for life that are going to continue to be like, hey, my sister has extra clothes and my brother-in-law has So it's kind of cool because the family, you get to know the person and they go, oh, my sister has, 50 pairs of these shoes,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is great. It was really cool that whole experience, but a very simple ad. Um, Very easy to make. You just want to be clear. Being as clear and simple as possible, I think, is huge because I think a lot of people get confused easily,
Hmm.
thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay $40 for some Miss Me jeans," or, I did get a couple of those where I drove out to their house and they were like really set on the price, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, here's what I can offer," and I'm sorry that it just wasn't clear for you, and and then most of the time the people would circle back and go, well, what will you give me? you
Yeah.
know, because clothing for them is just like, as a reseller, it's valuable to me, but to a consumer, they're just looking to make space in their house.
Of
So,
course.
but yeah, simple. We buy clothes. And the key here too is to, because a lot of buy and sell groups have different rules.
Hmm.
Sometimes they won't let you like almost like post an advertisement, so you got to be a little bit more you know like post as if maybe you're selling a pair of pants and then you go, hey, I'm also buying clothing too. So there's a little differences there in different groups. So that's what I've learned, and you only need to find one group that's good to be
Sure.
successful with this.
So how much you normally pay them per piece? I mean, obviously we all try and get it as cheap as possible, but have you
Hmm.
got kind of an idea of what you would pay per piece of clothing, or is it different from trousers to shirts, etc.?
Yeah, my just flat price was a dollar for tops
Yeah.
that were on the brand list, and then
Hmm.
$2 for bottoms that were on the brand list. And then
Sure.
if there was something like new with tags, I will put it aside with other new with tags to make that a separate purchase. Like, hey, obviously these are new, so I'm not going to be giving you $2. I'll give you $5 a pair,
Yeah.
which is way cheaper than the Goodwill here, or St. Vincent's. I mean, jeans are $14.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just really can't make much money when you're buying for that by cost. So I'd say on average, almost comparable to what I was paying at the Goodwill bins, a little bit more. I'd say like $1.80 per piece came out to the average.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So you've already inspired Thrift Up. They said they will try and own local area once I'm ready for more inventory. So that is great news.
Yeah.
Neil and Jan are in. So Neil's in the group as well from the UK, both. So they've joined us here.
Nice.
Another family member, my brother's popped in, as expected. All the family, as I say.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Chris and Edna. Appreciate that. Kimberly as well from the group. Another one from the UK. I know Kimberly is very accountable when it comes to posting in the Facebook group as well. Every morning she's talking about the UK accountability. So
nice.
That was always really good to see. Yeah, the brand list is a very good idea. Absolutely. I thought about ideas like this, and I was saying to Bo before we come on the live that I've actually inside got some printed posters myself. And I went and hand delivered them during the first lockdown. And I'm an everything seller at the moment, and I had a really good response from that. And that's just walking around the area. So it's something else I'm going to continue doing over the winter months, especially when stock's a bit harder to find and people can't necessarily go out to car boot sales or, in your case, flea market sell. I'm going to be going out and doing that a lot more. There we go. So I asked that question about what you're paying per item or weight of clothing. Did depend on each item. So Alan's in. Hi, Alan. Thank you so much. Flipping Sloth is in. Hi, Jay. He's put. I've tried this in the UK, and it's very hard without paying for ads. That's interesting. So you mentioned to me before that you didn't pay for this to be advertised. You just put it in your local group. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I would just type in the city that's kind of where I'm wanting to drive to, 2 hours. So I would type in the city name and then just buy and sell. And usually every city has a buy and sell group. And what really surprised me was not only were there buy and sell groups, but there was multiple, and these had like thousands of people. So there's a lot of trading going on, a lot of bartering. And I was like, well, I don't see anyone buying clothes on here. Like, I see people selling clothes, but I don't see people like looking to buy. So I was like, well, let me give it a shot. And it was a gold mine. I just think that clothing here in America are just, people have so much that you're providing speed and convenience for people, because people don't want to spend their time driving to a donation store or center and getting nothing. You get nothing for it,
Sure.
And they would rather get a little bit for it, and they don't have to drive anywhere. And a lot of the times I would tell people, just leave it in black plastic bags outside, and I'll just go through it outside. I don't even need to, you don't need it, like contactless, people are all about that. And so it was really cool. So you don't need to pay. I wouldn't, try paying. You can, if you want to target a certain demographic, but try with the buy and sell groups, see if there's any in your area, and then go from there.
Okay, so my brother asks, do you ever get people get back in contact with you that you've purchased with before, basically? So do you get repeat customers? So where you've gone to maybe pick up 100 pieces, do you get them contact you again? I know you mentioned they might refer you to other people, but do they ever come back to say, Bo, look, I've got another 300 pieces for you. Come back to us.
Yeah. I would say there's just a few, because a lot of people are just like a one and done transaction. Like, hey, I got 200 pieces of clothing. My daughter moved out. She's in college now. Come pick it up, and that was it. But the key here was I just started handing out these cards. I don't know if you can see it, but just we buy clothes, and then just with the brand list, with my Facebook page on there, so they can know I'm legitimate. and then handing those cards out to the people that maybe you think would be just like one transaction and done, and they go, oh, okay, my mother-in-law might, want this, or people at my church might want this, and they that actually just started spreading, because what I thought was maybe just a one-time thing, people would go contact me and then go, hey, I saw you bought my sister's clothes, well, I have clothes too. So that was nice and very cheap to just make these cards. And so then I started to see, okay, repeat business. And it was really cool because I knew these people already, and you can build a relationship with them that could be lifelong, so that was cool. And I don't know, like I said, I like working with people rather than large businesses.
No, absolutely. Hi, Sam. Good evening. Thanks for coming in. So, Bo, I'll let you answer this one because I've probably given Jordan some advice already, because he is potentially looking at starting eBay in the future as well.
Mhm.
But what advice would you give to a new eBay starter? So, someone who is brand new, who's maybe only just listed their first couple of items, what advice would you give them that you've learned, probably like me, the hard way, where when you're new, you don't know much? What advice would you give to him?
Yeah, and this is just applies to before you start everything, you must know why. Why are you going to do it? And for me, my why was clear. To be able to be self-sufficient and provide for my family, and to build something that can be lifelong. Lifelong business. I'm not just in it to just make money really fast and go and live a luxurious life. Is like my why was like, okay, how can I build something that I can see myself working on 10 years from now, 20 years from now? I wanted to build a long-term, slowly sustainable business that I can just continue to work in and on, and then as I grow, maybe have some help to expand. But right now, it's just me. But getting clear, first thing is, why are you going to do it? And if your answer is money, that's okay, because a lot of people are looking for alternative ways to make money, even if it's just a side thing, like, hey, I need to make an extra $500 a month. Well, this is perfect. And you will find a lot of the times people start a side business on eBay, and they have a 9 to 5, and they start making almost more money on eBay than at their regular job.
Yeah.
So
And they convince them to go over.
yeah. So I think getting clear on why you want to do it first, before you start doing any research or looking at what you want to sell, is like getting clear of a plan. Like, okay, here's my 5-year, even if it's just 5-year plan. In 5 years, I'm going to be done with eBay, and I'm going to take that money and put it into real estate, or I'm going to start another business. Getting clear on that is key, because at first I was like, you're less disciplined in your decision making when you don't know why and have that goal and vision. Like once I got clear on that, I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. Everything else is a distraction. Let me just focus on this and keep doing it and keep doing it. It's in that's the value of the group, or finding other coaches and mentors, was like, they help speed up that process. Like, if I had to learn all this on my own, oh my goodness. Like, Tech has done this for 14 years, but he had to spend all of this time learning. And it's such a blessing, because now we can take 14 years of information and condense it into where now, if you apply it in a year from now, you should be dramatically better. So yeah, just getting clear on your why, and then going from there, like what could you see yourself selling? Because don't sell something you don't like, because you're not gonna have any passion for it. You're not gonna be like, I don't like that, but I sell it. Get into being like, okay, like I could sell like video games. I like video games. I'm not attached to video games, but I like them. So that's what I'm gonna go do. I like reading about the value in different games. So it's start with why. And
I think you're spot on, Bo, because funnily enough, I had the same kind of conversation with Chris this morning in the morning call, when I told him, you know, I'd been monetized because I've been speaking to Chris quite a bit on the YouTube calls. They're doing a group on
Mhm.
Thursday. And he was
Mhm.
going through my plan with what's next. You know, what does my next plan look like? Because I was explaining to him that I would love to be able to have a nice, sustainable income via YouTube
Mhm.
to help my eBay store grow. But then he
Yeah.
said, what about the third part? You know, where are you going to put that money from your business? Are you going to just leave it in eBay, or would you
Mhm.
consider put it into property? So, in
Mhm.
case, for instance, your eBay store was to burn down overnight, where are you going to make that other money from? So it got me thinking really about a longer term plan. But yeah, I
Mhm.
completely agree. I think you need that why. My why was the passion to become my own boss.
Yeah.
I worked in recruitment for 13 years. I was made
Oh, wow.
redundant during the pandemic,
Mhm.
and I had a real passion to grow my own business. And it was
Mhm.
kind of right place, right time where I had some redundancy money behind me as a security blanket. But
Mhm.
what the advice I've given to Jordan is to learn, you will make mistakes, but to grow really slow. Don't go out tomorrow and buy 2,000 items and think, you know, you've nailed eBay, because you'll
Yeah.
realize how quickly to process
Mm.
2,000 items it takes time to ship
Yeah.
them items, to store the items, etc.
Yeah.
Um, a good question here, and we spoke a little bit about this before, Bo, when we come on. So, how much cash do you suggest having ready to go before to get ready for bulk buys? And this is great because I think a lot of people kind of live at times from day to day. But when a big bulk buy comes up, you need to have the money there to bite at it. Otherwise, it's going to go to someone else, and
Mhm.
things move quickly. So, let's talk a little bit, if we can, about the bulk buy you made
Mhm.
from this poster, or one of the bulk buys you made from this poster, and
Mhm.
how amazing it is. Because I know in the group everyone's been talking about it. So, do you want to run us through that?
Yeah. Well, before we went live, I said that I had been saving in anticipation of something big coming along
Hmm.
to buy after the fire or after our house burned down. If I didn't have that savings,
Yeah.
oh, it would have been rough. So
Hmm.
thankfully for that. And then I knew the importance of, okay, having money in an account that I almost just forget about, because I don't ever want to like draw from that. I just want to keep, like, I have everything automatic. Everything for me, like as far as bills and money coming out, it's all automatic. Money comes out of my accounts into that account every month, and I don't notice it. I don't think about it,
Sure.
and that had been happening for about 2 years.
Hmm.
So I looked at the account and I go, wow, like now I can start my eBay business and
Yeah.
use that to funnel it. But as far as the amount, that's going to just vary from person to person. It depends on like how much you're listing a day, how much are you processing a day, how much
Hmm.
storage you have to be able to maintain thousands of items. So that's just kind of that's every person is different, but having at least some money there to be able to go, okay, this money is for investing into my business and I will
Yeah.
not touch it, and just let it grow and keep letting it grow. And you'll find that after 2 years, you're like, wow, I have a couple $1,000s in here. I can
Hmm.
use this to now take my business to the next level, because
Yeah.
I really believe, and I have not seen anywhere else, that eBay is a tool to multiply resources
Hmm.
very quickly. And that's if you're selling video games, shoes, VCRs. It's you can take something that's worth that someone sells you for $10 and
Yeah.
sell it for 100 without any very minimal downside risk. That's
Hmm.
so rare in today's economy. So when I was able to see, like, oh my, if I can use my savings to multiply more resources as I manage that growth, this is huge, because now I can have money to speed up that growth. And that's where the bulk buys came in, because prior to buying bulk on Facebook, we were growing great. The payouts, 800 a week, 900 a week. It just slowly kept growing to
Yeah.
where we're like, okay, this is great. Now we want to really take that next step. So the bulk buys enabled us to almost triple that, and grow sustainably, because I have not bought anything else. I'm still processing the storage unit stuff. So using the savings to really kind of like the fire to really grow your business was
Hmm.
having that savings, because you know what brands to buy, you know what brands not to buy. You've really dialed in your business to where, like, okay, this money I spend is gonna 5x, 10x. Um, I knew when I was buying the storage units that, wow, if I buy everything for $1, my downside risk is very minimal, because I know that new with tags Calvin Klein pants will at least sell for 15 to 20, if not more. So
Sure.
I was able to understand that concept of, like, okay, the savings is there to really
Hmm.
speed up that growth. So starting with that savings, whether you're buying a house or whatever, but doing it for eBay, oh man, that's the fuel that really pushes that business to the next level, as long as you can manage the growth.
Absolutely.
And
So it
yeah,
was in your storage unit. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 5,000 items, wasn't it? You
oh,
got from the
I'm at
storage unit.
yeah, so I'm about 40% done processing the items, and I have accounted
Mhm.
for 3,600 items, just
Wow.
clothing, because there was other, there's, I don't know if you saw, but there's a lot of new underwear that's
Yeah.
vintage that
Yeah.
I did not look at when I first bought the items. But in these big boxes, this guy was a collector, and all still new with 1999 and 1998 jockey, Calvin Klein, some brands I've never heard of. And when I
Wow.
looked up the price, it really shocked me, because I was about ready to, like, wholesale these out,
Yeah.
but each one goes for like $20, and
Mhm.
there's thousands of them. So I haven't really even gotten into that too much. I've just been selling here and there. But
Nice.
I would say, yeah, about 5,000 to 6,000 clothing pieces. And,
Amazing.
and there's like other stuff in there too.
And they were all, am I right in thinking they were all new with tag, or majority were new with tag?
Yeah, 90 to 95% new at tag. It seemed like
Mhm.
this person had bought the clothing, and then maybe some of the pieces he really liked he wore and then put them back. So really mind blowing. This person was a truck driver for 25 years, all around
Yeah.
the country. And on his spare time, he would go to these malls and outlets and drop everything with receipts. I kept all the receipts just in
Hmm.
case,
Yeah.
but
It's wise to.
it's wild, like, and yeah. So, and this was an indoor storage facility too. I believe if it was outdoors, a lot of the items might have been ruined. So,
Hmm. Perfect. Great. I'll just catch up with the chat and we'll carry on. So Chris and Edna said they started I started part-time making extra money with a full-time job. And both me and my partner are both full-time eBay, and it's the best thing we've ever done. So yeah, you hear a lot of people do that, who do a little bit of eBay on the side and
mhm.
become a bit addicted to it and realize you can make a full business out of it. So
Yeah,
well done, you guys.
it's really cool.
Um, Kim from the group as well. Thanks for sharing this info. I think this year will be a good time to do this in the UK. We'll give it a try. I completely agree. I think with everything
Mhm,
going on at the moment with the cost of living, I think a
mhm.
lot of people are going to be looking to earn that little bit of extra money. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be definitely doing the same. Night's Life's in. Hi, Rich. Thank you for coming in. Said hello to Alan, I believe. If not, hello, Alan, again. Yeah, Jay makes a good point. I just gave Jordan advice to not buy 2,000 items, says the guy who brought, 4,000 books. But
Yeah.
the reason I bought them books is, again, like Bo was mentioning there, they were costing me 10p a book. And so I
Oh,
knew my money was safe. And
yeah.
luckily, I've done really well on that. So Leanne asked me a question. So you mentioned earlier video that you would like to earn enough for your wife to give up work. And yeah, you're right, Leanne, I did. And she hasn't stopped talking to me about that since I mentioned that in the video. So I'm glad I said that.
Mhm,
Just wondered what she does and would she like to help with eBay? Yeah, so she is a private nanny. So
mhm.
she looks after children privately for families. And
Nice.
we are looking to start our own family soon. So the plan is,
Mhm.
hopefully, if we start our own family, that she can stay at home and help with the eBay side, or even if you have to
Nice.
go back to work, it allows me then to look after the baby, because
Mhm.
working from home you could be a bit more flexible.
Yep.
But longer term, yeah, I would like to get to a stage of where she didn't have to work and we can afford for her not to work.
Yeah.
But that's going to take time. That depends on
Hmm.
growth. It depends on lots of things, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, longer term, hopefully she could be part of the business, even if that's dealing with, picking a pack inside, whoever it may be. So,
Yeah.
but she's really supportive. And I think that's important. And Bo, you're probably the same. You need to have
Yeah.
that support network around you, because it's not your typical 9 till 5 at times.
Hmm.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
are working late and you're going out late to pick up things, and you're working
Hmm.
weekends and stuff as well.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'll say about that there.
Hmm.
Z's in the chat. Hi, Z. So, Bo, I don't know if you know Z, but he does our UK call in
Oh,
the group.
nice. Uh-huh.
Watford into UK calls, but yeah, that's
Right on.
Z. Underwear collector. Yeah, Sam, I thought the same when Bo said that. But as long as they're new and new, sorry, not new and used, as long as they're new.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask how you tested they were new, but we'll leave that for another time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to rewatch this as Facebook marketing, etc. is something I need to know about. Yeah, absolutely. See, please catch up after. Bo's had a really good idea and something that's really worked for him. And as he mentioned himself, it's something it's pretty simple to do. You can make it in Canva. You can kind of put, in this case, the brands you are looking for, and then
Hmm.
post it over Facebook to different groups. So not just the reselling groups itself necessarily. You might post it in your local group. So for instance, I've got Addlestone local or Chertsey local. They'll be the good places to post it in, where you haven't
Yeah.
got all the competition of other resellers potentially. So yeah,
Mhm.
definitely catch up on that. Let me just see. Yeah, I've caught up in all the chat now. So with regards to your future plans now, so I know we spoke briefly, and you're similar to me, where you're looking to grow. What is your plan for the next year or so? Have you got a plan in place? Are you going to keep up your listing goal? You're going to look to increase? What are your plans, Bo?
Yeah. So for the next year, it's going to be continuing to do what I'm doing now and just continuing to dial in the process, continuing to get better, faster, more efficient. Um, I don't want to add anything new because
Mhm.
what I'm doing now is working. And
Yeah.
that's a great question, because like after the storage unit buyout, I was so excited that I wanted to like call every storage unit and buy everything, but I
Yeah.
knew that it's just me and my wife, she's watching 4 kids, every day, stay
Yeah.
at home mom. So I didn't want to do too much without compromising, my family life,
Of
my
course. Yeah.
responsibility as a husband and a father. So I just want to dial in this process, continue. I list 45 a day, and I think that this is just a great spot for me to park at for the next year.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as like possibly in about a year from now, I could see myself. An idea was doing those donation bins and putting them at local churches.
Hmm.
So I pay them a flat fee every month, and put a nice looking bin outside where people can drop off clothing. I
Yeah.
live in a very rural area, and a lot of people don't want to drive an hour and a half to go drop off clothing. So
Hmm.
I thought that could be my next, thing that I try. But I would say, yeah, for the next year, just keep doing what I'm doing. Actually, after I bought the storage units, I also bought about 10,000 pounds of clothing too. So
Wow.
I have probably for the next
You've
year, I
got
won't even
plenty.
buy anything. Yeah. And just continuing to do 45 a day. And then now actually just focusing more on YouTube is kind of where I'm transitioning now. Like, I
Hmm.
want to help people. I have the hunger to help people, because where I was a year and a half ago, I
Yeah.
want to help people make that jump,
Hmm.
whether they're still working a job, but maybe want to make a couple $100s on the side.
Sure.
And that's where my passion is like,
Yeah.
if I
And that
can
comes
do it,
across in
you can do it.
your videos, Bo, as well. And I'll link Bo's channel into the comments at the end.
Thank you.
Please go give him a follow, because yeah, your channel is very much that. I think if I was starting eBay as a brand new person, the advice you give to people is it's very simple for them to understand, but also it's
Mhm.
at that advanced level where it's not just a case of open eBay, list an item, and that's it. You
Mhm.
go into a lot of detail, but it's very easy to read and understand.
Thank
And also on your channel, what I liked as well is you talked a lot more about the units you brought, and actually went through some of the clothing that was in there
Mhm.
it's okay saying to people, I've spent, $5,000 on clothing, but you actually spent some time to show people what kind of things were in the bags as well.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think that's important as well, because you're transparent when it comes to actually showing people what you have got, and
Oh
also
yeah.
maybe what wasn't so good in the bags, because there's probably some brands in there you thought, oh, do you know what, I probably wouldn't have picked these up, but
Yeah.
they're part of
There
the
were.
bundle anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's always good. Let's have a look
Thank you.
here. See, it's a great way to put out there that you want to buy stuff. We're starting to leverage the shop to buy stuff. Had a
Nice.
great retro game buy today after Lady popped into our shop looking to sell. Yeah, absolutely. I
Nice.
think it's the case of
Yeah.
getting it out there to people what you are looking for. And sorry
Mhm.
to see about the leak in your shop. Hopefully that gets fixed soon,
Mm.
my friend. Hopefully it's all sorted out. We've
Mhm.
got a question for you, Bo. So Leanne's asked, do you use the same filing system for clothing as Chris, Daily Refinement, had before he left eBay, with numbered bag in boxes to make them easy to find? Let me see if I can. Let me change this over here. There we are.
Yep. Same system. This the system I was using before was the bin SKU system, and I just found as my store got about more than 1,000 items, I was
Mhm.
doing too much digging, and I did not enjoy that. Digging to look through the bin to find the right SKU, and I was like, this is going to be a headache if I
Yeah.
grow to 5,000 items. So yeah, just follow with what works. The model is there. It worked perfectly for what he was doing, and why not just do that? So wow, now picking orders takes, instead of an hour, it takes 10 20 minutes. So
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
genius idea from Chris with regard to that system, because it's not something
Amazing.
that I'd ever thought of before. And
Yeah, me
as
too.
I'm an everything seller, I can't do that. But if I was selling,
Yeah.
say, clothing or shoes or even
Mhm.
a niche item,
Yeah.
it's definitely the way to go. But
Mhm.
at first, it took me some time to get used to the whole rotation thing. But once you had
Yeah.
watched this video a few times and had learned it from the group
Mhm.
as well, it made perfect sense. So no, I'm
Mhm.
glad you use that system, because it is a lot quicker. A lot of people have said that.
Here's some
So yeah. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can make that bigger there. There we go.
yeah, I knew by buying this large amount of clothing too, like I need to have it really organized as I process these items, because there's a lot of duplicate items, like
Yeah.
like he bought like the same pairs of jeans but maybe in different colors.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was huge. So having that organized system, I mean, I'd be losing items, I'd be sending wrong items,
Yeah.
definitely. So
So,
had to
Bo,
do
in
that.
that picture there, is that the 5,000 in the picture there?
This so it was 4 storage units.
Okay.
This is a 10 by 10, so it was 3 10 by 10s,
Yeah.
about 15 feet high.
Hmm.
And they were 3 of the units were full like this. Um,
Wow.
all the black plastic bags have inside them the shopping bags from where they came from, like the
Yeah.
Polo Ralph Lauren outlet,
Amazing.
Meyer and Frank, a lot of those, Diesel, Buckle. A lot of those shopping malls where he just bought the item, they put it in the
Hmm.
bag, the receipts in there, and then they're shoved in all these black trash bags. And as I was going through them, I was like kind of like shaking, because
Yeah, of
the
course.
lady that the storage unit manager, she doesn't know about clothing or anything, and I'm finding silver tab Levi's made in 1998 with new tags, and I'm like like I, this is before we negotiated a price, so I was like, oh man, I hope
Yeah.
that we can come to an agreement
Get
here.
to
and
a deal.
and they're
Hmm.
like, well, just make us an offer. And I was like, all right. So I spent the whole day climbing through these units, climbing to the top, almost falling several times,
Yeah.
because they hadn't been touched for 20 years. And then just opening each bag, kind of, just getting an idea of what it is.
Hmm.
And I was just shocked. So it was 3 units like this. And then the fourth unit was a 10 by 30. It was a long one. And that was full, about 3/4 of the way full of black trash bags. There were things in there like a lot of kitchen stuff, pots and pans, a lot of towels, a lot of
Hmm.
blankets, and that's where my heart kind of dropped. Like, oh, I hope there's not more I don't really
Yeah,
prefer
more
that,
towels and stuff. Hmm.
So I would say is about almost 20% of that, like kitchen stuff, hand
Sure.
towels, shaving cream. It's like all new, but I
Hmm.
don't sell that stuff. So I took all that stuff and I wholesaled it to another local reseller, and now their business is going great. So it was
Amazing. So you
awesome
made
that
money straight away off the back of this buy anyway.
yeah,
So
and I didn't have to pay for renting out the storage units because I was able to just consolidate it down
amazing.
within the amount of time.
So Alan says, James, those Guns N' Roses t-shirts were a great pickup. Did Chris miss them? So, Bo, I don't know if you saw at the weekend, I was down in Devon, and another UK reseller, Chris, Cooking the Haydens, who actually does it live
Mm-hmm.
at 8 o'clock. He was down the boot sale. Beforehand, I said, I promise I won't get all the good stuff. Don't worry, on his patch. But I found these two Guns N' Roses t-shirts. Well, one of them was a t-shirt from a tour from, I think it was 1990. And one of them was a Guns N' Roses, an actual shirt, a button-up shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
I thought to myself, probably about 30 to 40 pound each kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Asked the guy how much he wanted. He wanted £1 each for them. So, of course,
Wow.
paid the £1 each. And I've done
Yeah.
some research. And the button-up shirt, we're looking at probably around the £400 mark.
Wow.
And the other tour T-shirt was 150 quid.
Wow.
And so I don't deal with clothing. I never really have. I don't enjoy it. But when I find vintage band T-shirts, you kind of know that, do you know what, your money's probably safe with that kind of thing. But yeah, it just goes to show you just don't know what you're going to find. And that's similar to what you were saying in them bags there. You're finding vintage Levi's where you're probably thinking, I don't have a clue how much these are going to be worth, but I know they're going to be worth good money. It's always exciting.
Unreal. Yeah. I going into it, I'm no expert by any means. I'm very new, a year, I'm learning these brands as I go, but I know enough to be like, okay, I know silver tabs have good value. And when I opened a bag of Arc'teryx, I knew that things were about to change because I thought that they go for $100, $200, but there's some of those jackets in that brand that go for $500, $600, $700.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked that the simple jacket, nothing really special about it, go for that much. So a big learning lesson too.
Hi, Sophie. Don't worry about being late. I know you always catch up anyway, so thanks for coming in. So Lipa, I have great success talking to people selling at car boots and exchanging number. I buy video game toys. Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing the same with a lot of the house clearance people, getting to know them a bit better for the winter months. Looking to build contacts. I was speaking to Chris and I spoke to Z about that as well. Looking to build contacts longer term, so I'm not having to rely on grabbing stock week on week.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have someone to contact me and say, James, I've got X amount, come and buy it, and it's all ready to go. Yeah, see the Guns N' Roses shirts. I'll upload some pictures probably tomorrow on my Instagram anyway. But yeah, I was shocked, and the T-shirt looks in like near new condition. It's that good.
Wow.
So yeah, really amazing. Was you going to share something, Bo? Sorry, I thought you were going to share. Was you going to share a tag of something?
Oh no, it was from that bulk buyout.
Oh, okay.
North Face jacket. I mean, from the looks of it, you're like, wow, that's a lot of trash. And, that's what I initially thought, like, wow, what's in these bags? And then I'm like opening them up. I'm like, oh, like someone had a very bad addiction to buying clothes and never wearing
their
them.
Addiction's your win now, isn't it? That's the thing. This person's gone out and done all the buying and you've gone and picked them up for effectively, it was $1 each, wasn't it? In the end.
Yeah. So I actually spent about $8,000, and like I said, there's going to be about 6,000 to maybe 7,000 clothing pieces, and then I wholesaled all the other items I didn't want to sell, to help lower that buy cost, and then things like I've never even seen big commercial speakers like for auditoriums and amphitheaters. I haven't even really done much research, but I just looked up one of those speakers and they go for a couple $1,000s. And these are all brand new in the box. I don't even know how I'm going to ship it. I
It's
think that I'm just
amazing.
gonna, yeah, this person spent a lot of money. Hopefully, they made a lot of money too. But
So,
yeah,
Bo, Leanne asked, did you, sorry, did Bo just think of a price for the units, and did she counter back or settle for the offer? So let's talk a little bit about the negotiation then. Did you kind of chuck a number and she was like, yeah, that's perfect? Or was there a bit of a negotiation period, which is always fun?
yeah, it was really fun, and I knew that just learning about negotiation was I just wanted them to say the price first.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I
You
was
go
just
corner.
really like trying to be super nice and just be like, this is great, but I don't know, and I just don't know what's in here, and it's hard for me to tell. I'm gonna need a lot of time to look through it, and then she's like, well, for that first unit here, this one was the first starting point to like
Hmm.
gauge how much each one would be worth, and she's like, well, how about 1,500 for this one? And I'm like, okay, cool. And I was already counting. I took a bag out, the largest bag, and I counted each individual item, and
I
then
got
I
you.
just started counting each how many bags to give it a rough estimate, a
Hmm.
ballpark number. And I counted more than 1,000 by that. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
1,500, for
Okay with that.
1,000 plus new pieces, I'm happy with that. I
Hmm.
really didn't need to negotiate much, not much more. The only one that I negotiated was the 10 by 30, the really long one. Whoops, sorry. The really long storage unit. And
Yeah.
they wanted a lot more for that one because they knew that there was good stuff in there, and there was.
Yeah.
So, but as far as that, they just said the price, and I just went with that because
Nice.
it was such a good deal, and they
Mm.
wanted the storage. These storage units had not received payment in 5 years, so they were happy to have it cleared out and then start renting them out to make money.
Sure.
So, yeah, for them, they didn't. They were just like happy to get some money
Get
and
something
move
back.
along.
Mhm. So my question to you then, Bo, before we wrap up, is
Mhm.
what's the gem? Because in these buyouts, and I had to say when I bought the books, I was going through the books and there was all the bundles, but there was a few gems, a couple of books over £100, Stephen King
Mhm.
books with some rare covers.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
have you found any? Well, I'm sure you have, but what have you found in there? You mentioned the speakers, but clothing wise, what would
Yep.
you say is the bit of clothing you've picked out, and as you're absolutely shocked, you're like, I can't believe a bit of clothing's worth this much?
I'll try and look them up. They wore these. Probably won't be able to find them, but it was really cool, and it was probably within an hour of digging through the units. I found
Hmm.
these, and it was a pair of 501 vintage Levi's made in 1986, still
Wow.
new with tags. That was just one of the cool things, and I didn't know what it was worth. I just knew when I picked it up, you could feel that the material, the quality was like, whoa. And then I started to look at the tag, and I could read that, I saw 86 on there. In 1986 was the make. And then I started to reach out to other people, and they go, yeah, you can get anywhere between $300 to $500 for that.
For a pair of
And
jeans.
looking at them early on, I like was shaking because I was like, well, I just started looking through here. How many more of that is
Yeah.
there?
Is there another
There,
100 pairs in there?
yeah. There was only one, but very cool. Very cool to feel what clothing felt like back then. It feels good, like good
Yeah.
quality. And the person who bought them for 300, I bought them, and they're just like, I'm just gonna collect. I'm not gonna wear them. They're just for collection. And I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I could see that. They're really stiff, but and then the Arc'teryx jackets. There's got to be probably more than 20 jackets new with tags, Arc'teryx. Some ranging between like 100 to 200, and then some 5 to 700. So, and before that, I had never found Arc'teryx or picked it up. You probably won't find it because I think a lot of people know that, hey, if I see
Mm.
that, grab it. And
So thinking
then,
about that then, Bo, so really the jackets and that pair of jeans nearly pays for, or probably does pay for, everything you brought, near enough, once they have sold. If you're looking at
yeah,
jackets
yeah,
as say, a couple £100 each kind of thing.
Yeah. So after I made the purchase, I immediately started listing 45 a day from the
Yeah,
storage units, and the money was made back within about 45 days.
amazing.
So yeah,
So Sam's got
everything
a
is.
couple of, sorry, Bo. Sam's got a
No,
couple
yeah.
of questions. Who was selling the stuff? The storage facility, or was it like the person themselves? So it sounds like the storage facility was
Yeah.
kind of selling them because the bills hadn't been paid
Yeah, the guy had a stroke, the owner of the stuff in the units, and he
hmm
just couldn't. He told the people,
to sell it.
gave the authorization, just get rid of it. And
Sure.
what these people were doing, they were older ladies, 65, I think she is, and they were
Yeah.
just taking it to the dump. I know
Oh,
it sounds terrible to say, but like how many more items were taken to the dump, and
before.
um, so yeah, they're really nice, and that was cool because now I have a lifelong friendship with these ladies, older ladies. The storage facility is a 2,000 units, so
hmm
anytime someone has clothing, they
They're going to
just
come to you.
contact me. Yeah,
Amazing. So yeah, Sam said about the jackets as well. You're talking about. He found £1 to £270.
nice.
So yeah, similar to the
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses pickup. Sometimes people don't know what things are worth, and it's kind of that
Mm-mm.
right place, right time. And a good thing
Yeah.
what you done, Bo, is you put yourself there. So it wasn't a case of you just walked into the storage unit one day and you got lucky. It was a case of by what you have been doing on Facebook and marketing yourself and getting yourself out there, made the
Yeah.
deal come to you in that sense. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people will say at times, "Oh, you got lucky. You were lucky to find that." And yeah, sometimes you are lucky, but you've got to
Mm-hmm.
make your own luck as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what you've done is amazing, and it's definitely encouraged me, and I know it's encouraged a few others in the
Thank
chat
you,
today
James. Thank you.
to actually go ahead and do it. Um, I'll just finish off on Night's Life comment, then we'll add anything you might want to add as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, let me go back to Leanne's one. I think we answered that there about the person, so I hope we did answer that, Leanne. But we'll go to Rich's comment. So he put, "I am picking up some film props tomorrow, and I brought a sword for 650 and already sold it for 1,500. Amazing, absolutely
Nice.
amazing." And it sounds like, Rich, and you've already sold it before you've even picked it up, which is always the best place to be. If you've already got that customer there,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can kind of sell it to them before you even got it in your hands, all you are is that middleman, and you've earned yourself all that money just by, in a way,
Yeah.
delivering it to that person.
Yeah.
So it's always really good. So,
Mm-hmm.
Bo, let people know where they can find you then. So, where's best to find yourself?
Yeah. So you can just find, if you want, like, daily updates, Bo Johnson 7 on Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow me there. I'm just posting what is sold basically out of these units. And then I also just talk about like what brands I'm looking for. And then yeah, the YouTube channel where I'm just trying to help whoever's trying to make that leap into selling on eBay.
hmm
I just believe it is such a great opportunity right now to be able to take something that's in abundance in your area and multiply resources. And you've said it a few times. It's really cool because it hits me hard. Is like we don't really know what things are worth until we
No.
like go and looking up and go, wow, like you're kind of
Yeah.
shocked, like the market of certain things is insane. Like who would have known that someone would be buying vintage new tag underwear in
I know.
Japan, and a lot of these people contact me and go, oh, like take a picture of the corner and this because they're collectors. They don't want the box to be, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy, like I could care less about it, but hey, it's making me, money. So I'm going to list them all.
Yeah,
um,
and a good thing with that as well, you'll get collectors like you mentioned from Japan who will say, "What else have you got?" as well.
yeah,
So you might sell them one item, and you say, "Well,
yeah.
actually, on my store, by the end of next week, all of it's going to be listed up, for instance."
Mhm.
And they might
Mhm.
buy multiple items from you. So
Mhm.
when you're in the
Yeah.
collector market, if your stuff's in good condition and being new and
Mhm.
tags, obviously it is, then
Mhm.
you've got a whole market out there of someone who's going to make multiple orders. And we
Yeah.
all know in the eBay game, multiple orders is where you want to get to, where you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The repeat buyers and yeah, it's awesome. It's cool, and I'm not, I'm pricing things kind of. It's hard to kind of look up the price because it's more rare, but I'm not really asking a crazy amount. I'm just looking to kind of get the
To get
money
it
and,
moved.
and get these
hmm
things out of here because I don't have a lot of space for underwear and actually
Yeah,
a lot of
sure.
shoes too, like
Hmm.
lots of shoes, and that just takes up more space for me. So I'm ready to just get them out of here and sell them. So
Amazing, good stuff. So Leanne's asked, "What's your YouTube channel?" So what I'll do, Leanne, I'll put it in the description afterwards as well, so you can give Bo a follow. But yeah, really good channel, and I even mentioned on this video today that I can use some editing advice from Bo, because your editing on, especially on today's video, was really good. So I'll pick
thank
your
you.
brains another time about that and
Yep.
find out what programs you use to edit and get some tips, because I've never done any video content or editing before, so it's all new to me. So
Mhm.
yeah, like yourself, always looking to learn, always looking to grow. So yeah, any advice on that would be greatly
Yeah.
appreciated.
Anytime, anytime.
So yeah, Rich sold it to a contact in the US, which is
Oh,
interesting because we've got
nice.
you on tonight, and he was saying about how he ships it. Shipping company in Pinewood Film Studios. I ship film prop guns to US too. Yeah, I know, Rich, you
Wow.
do a lot of the film prop stuff, so that's really interesting as well. So, well, Bo, look, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank
I'm
you.
so pleased to have a chat with you. And when I heard about your journey, especially what you had done with this Facebook part, I was really keen to get you on the coffee pod as
Thank you.
well. So, and again, if you want me to come on your channel at any point and talk, absolutely happy to
Yes.
do so. You know, it's all
Yes.
about collaborations with me as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want me to come on in the future, let me know. But thank you all to the chat.
Thank you for
Thanks to
everybody.
everyone who's come
Yes.
in.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I hope to see you on the next episode. I'll be putting out some more content hopefully later this week. And
Nice.
Bo, once again, thank you, my friend. And we
Thank
will
you.
speak anyway in the group and over Instagram
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thanks, James, for having me. It's been an honor. We're all in it together. We're all a
Absolutely.
community, and if I could do anything to help, I'm gonna do it. Because I was there before.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Bo.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.